Hey everyone, it's Dr. Rich Shavner, and welcome back to Writing in 2004, Writing in Digital Cultures. I hope you had a fantastic reading week, and I'm excited about reading your final projects for Unit 1, so congrats on getting through that unit. And now we're on to Unit 2. Before we get into that, just a quick reminder that your final for Unit 1 is due at 11:59 October 20th, or Tuesday this week, which basically the same day we meet as class. For this first video, I'm recapping the assigned readings and contextualizing them with Digital Realty's sustainability report, which you'll practice on in class. So as I discussed in last week's video, the articles by Glanz and Edwards helped us understand the material and environmental conditions of digital writing. Digital writing travels through submarine cables and data centers, and they're basically hubs of internet traffic. So let's recap a few items for the readings to make sense of that idea. All right, so Phil Edwards' piece for Vox, I thought I would link to another visualization of submarine cables here. And notice that these cables stretch across countries and continents. So even from Europe and Africa to South America and North America. As some of you rightfully pointed out, sometimes those cables can be damaged by sea life, including by sharks. So yes, you did read that right, and you did hear that right, that sharks have been known to attack the global internet, especially Google's fiber optic cables that are nestled well under water. So the video that they have here is essentially a shark attacking one of the cables repeatedly. And these have been lined with Kevlar and other protective equipment to prevent most accidents, but sharks as well as fishing boats have been known to create internet outages. So sometime if you are wondering if your internet's out, you might look into seeing if this is actually a cause of it happening. That, again, sharks being attracted to fiber optic cables underwater and thus biting into them and damaging signal traffic. So really interesting stuff going on there. These visualizations from the submarine cable map and the instance of the sharks attacking the internet should give you a better understanding that wireless communication isn't completely, wireless. It's just that the wires are out of sight now, right? So we might be completely wireless with our laptops, but somewhere else in the world, whether it's underwater at some data center, wires are indeed powering wireless internet. Okay, so turning to Glanz's piece, as I discussed in the previous video, there is a considerable amount of criticism about data centers. So data centers have companies, and the companies that provide them have been criticized for consuming vast amounts of energy and making considerable carbon footprints. So as Glanz writes here, and I've listed here on our course website, most data centers by design consume vast amounts of energy in an incongruously wasteful manner, interviews and documents show. Online companies typically run their facilities at maximum capacity around the clock, whatever the demand. And typically that demand might be anything from Netflix to Amazon purchases we're making to the kind of blogging we're keeping on Google Docs. As a result, data centers can waste 90% or more of electricity they pull off the grid, the Times found. Glanz also writes, with no sense that data is physical or that storing it uses up space and energy, those consumers have developed the habit of sending huge data files back and forth like videos and mass emails with photo attachments. So even this class and myself, we are implicated in doing this. I mean, I've asked you to use Google Drive to upload entire projects, remixes and so forth from your phone to Google Drive and then share to me. So it could be gigs worth of material that we're sending to each other at lightning speed oftentimes. Even the seemingly mundane actions, Glanz goes on to write, like running an app to find an Italian restaurant in Manhattan or a taxi in Dallas requires servers to be turned on and ready to process the information instantaneously. So the speed at which we can do these kind of things are reliant on submarine cables and data centers nestled across the world. And the points of these articles should give you some insights and should be useful for reviewing Digital Realty's environmental report, which you're going to do today, or for Tuesday, I should say, on Slack. I'm asking you to review this report and to kind of gloss over it because it's a lot of information, but I want you to pay attention to the key points that are in it, right? So you might look at some of the infographics that are listed here, and especially what they have to say about environmental performance, because in here they are addressing, at least in points 3 and 4, they're addressing concerns of climate change in relation to digital information. So I want you to create a remix of this report. And you'll do that within the hour. So you're kind of looking through quickly this report and think about how can I adapt it to a slideshow. Once you do that, you can share it on our Slack page that we've set up typically for our groups. So you can work with peers, any that you want to work with this time. I know that some of you have developed some relationships productively in class, so feel welcome to continue that. And the rest of the instructions are here, but basically the purpose is to get you thinking critically about adapting and transforming documentation, something professional writers often handle and deliver to public audiences. And another thing is that this is relevant to all of you, and should be to all of you, because Digital Realty operates one of Canada's largest data centers, which is located in the city of Vaughan. So if you're familiar with the GTA, you know that Vaughan is next door. Actually, I live in that area. And just down the street from me, basically off of Weston Road, you can find one of the world's largest data centers. And if you know the Toronto Star, which is a big newspaper here in the area, this used to be Toronto Star's printing press, but Digital Realty bought it out and then made one of the largest data centers in the country. So definitely check that out. But I think that this all ties back to the locality that we're situated in, right? And then questions of how digital writing is implicated, or we as digital writers are implicated by data centers and submarine cables. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. If you have any questions further about the readings or about the remix, I will be on Slack, and I'm looking forward to your comments. See you next time.